can be a great people, Kal-El. They wish to be. They only lack the light to show the way.
Hey everybody, welcome to the video. Welcome to the channel. I'm just getting set up here. I know I didn't post a video yesterday, which would be Tuesday. Just got a little busy. You know, my Monday was pretty, busy with hospital duty, so I was pretty tired. Right now, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna make a video. I'm just kind of tired. I'll do it on Wednesday. Hopefully, get it up Wednesday night, which is Wednesday morning right now. But I was trying to, a lot of people are talking about, slow sales right now. There's an eBay glitch going on, apparently. I don't know anything about these. I don't really experience any of these problems that a lot of people encounter. And I don't know, I'm not going to discount them because they're, with all the, first-hand accounts, kind of like how I feel about paranormal stuff, like Bigfoot, aliens, and all that. You can't discount all the witnesses that are out there. There's a lot. I mean, some of them you probably can, but you can't discount all of them. So, same thing, with eBay. Even though eBay's not paranormal or cryptozoology stuff, or cryptids, as they call it. Two things. So, first, we made a sale to a movie star, actress down in Hollywood. So that was pretty cool. I recognized the name. Obviously, I'm not going to give away any information here. Keep people's information private. But I did notice a name on there, and I was like, that looks kind of familiar. The address looked kind of odd, and you'll get used to these things, like when maybe a celebrity or a studio is ordering the item, for maybe a movie or something. I know a lot of people get that. If you hear a sound, like a ringing sound, people have been doing all kinds of construction around here at other houses. There was someone on the street the other day, like chopping up asphalt. I don't know what's going on around here, but there's a bunch of work being done. So if you hear something in the video, I was waiting for a moment, to shoot this today, but there's been work going on, like everywhere. Then gardeners are coming everywhere, and I'm like, oh my god, it's crazy. But I'm never gonna get a window to try to shoot this, so I'm just gonna do it now. But you'll get the more and more you ship out, you get to notice certain things. Like the other pretty common one is like drop shippers, and you'll typically know who they are because they'll send you a note saying, please don't include any invoice in this. And they're like, okay, this person is a drop shipper, which means they're buying the item. They sold the item on their eBay store, but then yet they're purchasing it from you to ship it to the buyer. So they don't want any of your information involved, other than like the return address or something like that. They don't want any other information in there. Especially they don't want to find out. They want people to find out, how much they actually spent on the item as well too, I'm guessing. Then the other thing too is some people try to circumvent the eBay International Shipping Hub because international fees and shipping to internationally is pretty expensive, and it's expensive through eBay. It's probably a little bit more expensive through eBay because they handle everything. So I think they just charge a little bit more because they're taking care of the whole process. And so they probably charge a little bit more. So some people want to try to avoid the high fees, and they'll go through third-party shippers, or they'll have someone here. They'll have someone buy it here, and then they'll ship it to them. So there's those kind of people, and you get used to seeing those. Those types of addresses. They'll look a bit odd. They'll usually go somewhere in the vicinity of an airport or something like that, or a port. Now, obviously with, Hollywood actors, actresses, they do order stuff online as well. They are regular people as well, too. They are consumers, athletes, and all that. They still buy stuff. So, when I saw the name, I was like, I think I know who that is. And then, the address is just, is probably not the real address because, celebrities and stuff, they don't really have stuff delivered to their home because they don't want people knowing where they live, right? I mean, even though it's pretty easy to find out, where people live, but they don't want necessarily just to hand out that information like candy. They would like to have their privacy because obviously they're kind of in the limelight. They're in, with social media nowadays, Yeah, there are people that track people at Disneyland, mind you. There's somebody that actually on Instagram will be at Disneyland. I'm pretty sure they're there all the time. They must be, a SoCal or live somewhere in that area resident. But they pretty much will post like, oh, so-and-so celebrity was at Disneyland today. So-and-so was at Disneyland today. This person's athlete was at Disneyland today. And they'll post it on their Instagram and you can kind of follow it. So, but yeah, that's kind of cool, and, they bought a really cool, actually, I'll put it at the end of this. I wasn't going to include it in this video, but I will. It's, Dooney and Burke. Dooney and Burke purse. So that was pretty cool. And then I won a case against the USPS, which is, incredible because I didn't think I was, and I didn't get any correspondence, nothing from them. I submitted my claim, and it was a My Child, vintage My Child. It's kind of like Cabbage Patch, but it's My Child. Brand new in the box, sold for $100. No, $120. No, take it back. I should probably research that. It was like $100 and something dollars. It was like $102 or something. It was a weird number. Okay. Either way. I sold a My Child, and it got lost in the mail. And it had to be at a certain location at a certain time point. Somebody that was visiting the United States, New York to be specific, needed it by a certain date because they were going to be leaving. But they gave it enough time. They ordered it 2.5 weeks before the deadline for them going back home, before that deadline came up. And the item did get there, and it got to New York in about 4 days. And then it set out for delivery. I believe I mentioned that in this video. It set out for delivery. Then the next day, it just said, item being prepared for delivery. And it just stayed there the whole time for another week. Up until the person, it's still there, actually. I just checked it. It's still stuck on that. And I initially, when the person first told me, like, hey, I think this item's stuck, I sent the help request to USPS. And they messaged back, immediately closing the help request, saying, we did not receive the item. Closed. I'm like, what? No, you guys have the item. So all the tracking information is there. All the clicks, the clicking the barcode is in there. And so I submitted again to reopen it, which they opened it. And I let a couple of days pass, 48 hours, nothing happened. So then I submitted a lost package, which then kind of takes it to the next level, I guess. And I immediately, it took probably less than 24 hours. It was more like a day, around a day, because I sent the request, fell asleep. Sometime the next day it came through. It was under 24 hours. Got a message saying they could not locate the package, and please submit or you can submit a request, if there's insurance on it. And it's Ground Advantage, so Ground Advantage already has a certain amount of insurance. I forget what the number is. I kind of looked that up. Either way, they said I filled it all out. I put the actual amount that the item cost. They said put the actual amount, subtract the shipping from it. So in my head, I'm thinking, all right, well, great. I'm out the shipping at least. If I do get anything, I didn't really have any hopes of getting anything back because I haven't won one of these cases or seen any money from this in years. I haven't seen anything back from this in my attempts to get something back. But today, no emails, no calls, no nothing from USPS. And then today, in the mail, boom, there's a check for $119, which was that plus the, and some change, which was that plus the shipping costs. So the shipping costs and everything, I got it all back. So, got everything back. Well, I think I got everything back. I'll have to double check. I'm making this video the moment after I was like, whoa, I got money back. I was like, hey, it actually worked. I got my money. I actually made money on the item. I'm not at a loss anymore. So that's pretty good. No losses. Try to avoid those. You can't help, things getting lost in the mail. It's going to happen from time to time. I've experienced it, but usually not on anything very large. This was actually a large box. Large in price and large in box. It's pretty rare to lose something, but it was fairly substantial, like that long and probably about that wide and that tall. So pretty good. We made some pretty good money back. So everything worked, I guess. That was my first like I said, in years, my first successful actually getting money from the USPS. So that's cool. It does work, I guess. The system does work from time to. It's my first time since first time actually something lost since they switched over to ground advantage. So knock on wood. Always knock on wood. As a matter of fact, you know what? Look at this. My San Quentin piggy bank or still bank, whatever you want to call it. Knock on wood. That is made of wood. So pretty cool. Otherwise, I think that's the end of this part of the video. Then we'll look at some what sold. I was gonna try to. I'm looking right here because I just pictured some stuff and everything. Got some of. Oh, these sold immediately after I listed them. And I think you know, if you follow resale content and all, anybody that picks up items. Noble. I found these over at the Goodwill the other day. I don't find them that often, but I do find them from time to time. But Noble is definitely a great brand to look out for. Resells really well for now. Who knows in the future, or who knows when you're watching this if they will resell. But they're kind of a small size though. I only paid $6 for them at the Goodwill. They're a men's 6, so very small. And I listed them for $30 just to hurry up and get rid of them. And someone shot me an offer at $25, and I was like, sure, I'll take it right away. So we made some good money on it. I think we made, even with shipping charges, we should be right around our profit margin we would like from items from the Goodwill, which is around $15 or more, hopefully. But that was pretty cool. Quick little sale, got that moving. All right, I'm going to go deposit my check, and then we'll do the rest of the video. Okay, we are on to the what sold part of the video, so everything will appear right over here. We got some cool items. At least I think they're cool. So let me know down in the comments down below what you guys think of these items. And if you've bought and sold any of these items as well in the past. I moved stuff around over here. I want to make sure there's no, my personal information isn't on display for the world here. I don't think so. But let's go ahead and get into this. Playoff Baseball. This is the first item here. Vintage pocket game. It comes with some dice. Comes with some little studs. The dice have different, there's a pitching dice. Then you roll it and you see if you got a hit or a strikeout. Then the second dice is if you got a hit or if you got a double, triple, or whatever. And then you move the dice around the little board there. Really cool. If you were to look at sell-through rate, you would be like, this thing just is not going to sell. It's going to take me a year to get this thing sold. But we sold this within 48 hours. Really cool little item. You just had to price it right. A lot of people had them priced around $15. It's not a $15 item. So if it's something that you're out there actively sourcing, I would stay away from it if it's more than $2. Because it's really only going to sell for about $9 to $10. That's really where it's going to sell at. And for mine, it sold for $9. So $9. And I got this big old bundle of other items. So bundling items. Bundle up all the... If you can see a bunch of smalls. A bunch of little items. This should sell for like $40 to $50. But if this was like this kind of item, a $10 item... I would start bundling these up. Get all these little $10 items. You're at a flea market, garage sale, hopefully. At the Goodwill, can't really bundle there. So, but in other locations, you can start putting items together. Start doing the calculations. See if you can get that overall individual unit cost down on each item. So that's what I did. That's what I do. That's what I do a lot, especially at the flea market. It's a great place to just get a bunch of merchandise. Yeah, it's only like $9, but still, I paid probably less than $1 for this because I bundled it with other items. So, and then especially if you find like a really great item, an item that might sell for $40, $50, $60, $100, $200, then start throwing other items in there as well too. So, build up that profit. Okay, the next item here, and this is the item that actually is going to Hollywood. This is a Dooney and Burke. I mean, I don't have to, tell you guys, Dooney and Burke sells. Just make sure it's authentic. You can look up online to see how to authenticate Dooney and Burke, as well as other persons as well too. Especially on the fly, because it's kind of difficult when you're at the flea market, garage sale, wherever you're at. Going through an item and really trying to. Sometimes you just get caught up in the moment and you end up missing things. I've done it before. So make sure that you're double checking everything. Make sure that you have a good idea of what an authentic bag looks like, feels like. You can also go to these stores, go to Macy's, other department stores that sell these type of products. and just check them out. See what the stitching looks like. See what the feel of the leather looks like. So that way, when you're out and about and you see these things, you can identify them and be able to quickly authenticate them. So that way, you can make some money on them. And $60 is what we sold this for. Really cool. This is more, like I put in my title, more of an Easter-ish color scheme. And so I thought it would go around Easter. It took a little while to sell. I got this earlier in the year around Easter, which is why I threw Easter in there. I was like, maybe I'll get it sold during Easter, maybe during summer. And it's selling here as we're approaching fall. So, yeah, but it's going to California. So it's always, it's always springtime in California. So really cool item. But that's, obviously going to Hollywood down south, like I said. Okay. Now, the next item here that I sold is a brass business card holder. Do not pass up these vintage organizers, this office stuff from yesteryear. Business card holders were a big thing. Everybody would carry their business cards. And as a matter of fact, at many restaurants, I think they would do like drawings or raffles or something like that. So they would have a little like fishbowl in the front, and you drop your business card in there, and then every so often, they would take a business card out, and I don't know, you get a gift card or something like that. I really don't know what they would do with all those business cards, but I do know they used to collect them in a lot of the hostess section there. They would have a fishbowl, throw your business card in there. But this stuff still sells. People still look for this stuff. This was just a great quality, excellent condition, just solid brass. No name. A no-name item. It was just nothing. All it said was made in the USA. It said brass made in the USA. So, and it still sold $13.50. Again, you have to get this really low. You have to get it for like $1 or $2 at the most, a bit of a stretch. I would be very comfortable paying $1 for these items, especially for the item, the first item I mentioned. Sorry, I heard something outside. But for these low items, around $10, $10, $15, I really feel more comfortable just paying $1 for them. But $2, $3 kind of stretching it, and then beyond that, I would probably pass them up. But we're able to get it for a great price because we go to the flea market. Look out for these things. These vintage Rolodexes do really well. I've talked about the vintage, like Franklin Covey planners, organizers. People still buy these things, and they still use them, and they still want them. Okay. Next item is a pepper mill. Pepper mills do well. You just have to pick out the right brands. Mr. Dudley is definitely a great brand to look out for. This probably would have gone for more, closer to $40. It was pretty dinged up. It wasn't in the best of shape. So I posted it for $30, and I accepted an offer for $20. And I would have liked to have gotten more for it, but we're still making some money on it. If I remember correctly, I didn't pay too much for it. I think I paid about $4 for it. So we're still in the profit, still doing okay. It's another item moving, going along the way, and it's actually not going too far from me. So that was also like, all right, it's not going that far. It's staying in California, piece of cake to get this shipped out, and also a piece of cake to get it shipped out because I saved the. So on the bubble wrap, because I know some bubble wrap does not come with this, but it comes with a core cardboard, tube basically that the bubble wrap is wrapped around, and I put it on actually on a hanging rack. I extend the hanging rack out, and I have my bubble wrap on there so that I can dispense it easy. But I keep those cores, and I use those cores for shipping purposes because they're pretty thick. It's a good thick cardboard, and it actually came in handy. Actually, I had to use 1.5. So I had another pre-cut piece that I used because I only needed a small piece for another item. So I had a half piece, and I had a full length, and I was able to get this in there and just wrap it up in some bubble wrap, and then threw it in poly bag. That was it, a poly bag. But it had the thick cardboard inner core of my bubble wrap to keep it safe. So cool item, and that's out of here as well too. Okay. Next item, which I really had no idea about. I didn't even know this existed. I saw this at Goodwill. It was fairly cheap. It was under $5, if I remember correctly. Sold it for $30. Animal Island. Ayla Sit and Play. You guys see the title down there. Look out for it. It's pretty, it stands out. It looks like just those, in restaurants, they have little touch screens where you can play games and pay. It looks just like that. It charges up, uses USB-C. I picked it up at the Goodwill. It had a cracked screen. This could have gone for more in the range of between $60 to $80, but it had a cracked screen on it. But it still completely worked. Touchscreen worked. Everything worked great. There's a lot of activity going on in my house. It's kind of annoying because it's distracting me. So really cool. Be on the lookout for it. Will sell for more if the screen wasn't cracked, but even with the cracked screen, completely working, charges up, still sold for $30. And then, is this the last item? Let me just double check this is the last item. Last item here. And again, this is one of those items where I pat myself on the back. I'm like, I do have a good eye. I know what sells, and I know what I can sell. I saw this piece of pottery there. I had to use Google Image to figure out it's a John Olson. But even with John Olson, it still wasn't necessarily the best item according to sell-through rate. But I did my best to describe it. You see all the keywords down there, and it was in great condition. One thing to put on a lot of these pottery pieces, if they are signed, whether you know who it is or not, just put signed in the title. A signed piece of pottery, art, pottery, whatever. I really don't know what this was used for. I don't know if it's an inkwell. It definitely did not look like ink was in it. It could have been an inkwell, could have been a bud vase. To me, it looks like just an oversized inkwell. But it was probably more used as a bud vase because it is fairly large. That would hold a lot of ink. So I don't think it was used as an inkwell, but that's kind of like what I got, like the vibe I got from it. But I put bud vase anyway because it's more than likely used as a bud vase, I'm assuming. Really, I have no idea what this thing is or what it's used for, but it was a really cool piece of pottery. Green is my favorite color, mind you. I don't think I've mentioned that in a while. So I do tend to get drawn to green things pretty easily. And this was a really nice piece of pottery. So, and it sold $32, out the door. Really cool. That's it. End of the video. Just know that, if you do get anything lost with USPS, anything happens to your products with USPS, yes, you can get money back from time to time. Another successful, my second, as far as I think there was only one other time where I remember I won money back. I felt like I hit the lottery at least here with the USPS, but yeah, so you can get your money back from the USPS if things get lost or broken or anything like that. It will happen. There's zero contact. They will not contact you at all. You'll just randomly have a letter show up in the mail from them. So, pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. But please like the video, subscribe if you want to continue to see content from me. Catch you in the next one. Oh, hit the bell notification because, yeah, if I'm not feeling the mood to make a video, I probably won't. But I do got to keep my main channel going. Keep the YouTube algorithm, fed on my other channel, which is Gem Flipper, which is the one where I show you guys where I pick up all these items. If you do want to check out that channel, it is linked in the description down below.